so I first heard about CBD when Jared, my oldest son, came to visit us in Florida. It was about 2 weeks before his third son was to be born.
I had just reached 10 years in business with my prior company, and I had hit a complete burnout point. And my wife came to me and she said, "Honey, I'm really concerned about you. I think you should go spend some time with your parents in Florida." And it really hit me because I knew I was struggling. I knew I was pretty burned out, but I did not know that it had reached that point. And so she had just booked the flight. She had spoken with my parents and was just like, "Here you go, honey. Your flight leaves tomorrow."
And it was just fun to kind of hang out with Jared and kind of catch up. We lived on the beach at the time. I was talking about my pain. I was carrying books to a refugee camp, and I just picked up that suitcase the wrong way and hurt my shoulder. I was kind of struggling with hormonal changes. I wasn't sleeping well. I was waking up having hot flashes. So I was open to try something. And so he said, "Mom, have you ever tried CBD?"
So I first learned about CBD actually from my father-in-law. He was coming over to our house every Saturday making pancakes for the kids, and he started telling me about this product that he had just heard about. And the results that he was telling me from the people who took the product, they honestly sounded too good to be true.
At that point, I hadn't ever heard of CBD, but he'd been kind of researching out the business, the space. He wanted to do something with his dad, and his dad didn't want anything to do with it.
I, have been in the nutrition industry now for 28 years, and so when I hear people talk about new things, I am highly skeptical because most all of the supposed breakthrough miracle type products that I've heard about over the last 28 years have been nothing but a joke. And it was only when Jared came back and began talking about it that I began to look at it more seriously.
And so that first night I took that, it was like a hard candy, and I slept through the night.
And when she woke up the next day, she said, "Honey, you won't believe this, but I slept through the night, and I have not had a full night's sleep in 2 years."
And I used the CBD, their cream, and I had relief on my shoulder. So to me, it felt a little miraculous.
And so I was like, wow, this is just incredible that there is a product out there that I've never heard of, and yet people are seeing these types of results from them.
But because I had such a remarkable, I call it miraculous, great night's sleep that first night and consecutively, we started doing more research.
It didn't matter what keyword phrase I typed into Google, meaning whatever health concern it was, along with CBD, I saw people's results, testimonials.
That was a trip where going there, I really didn't know what I wanted to do next with my life, but I can say after that trip I did. So once my mom had her first experience with that first product of CBD, and she went out and bought every single CBD product in the entire city, brought it to the house, and we're like sitting there on the kitchen table just, having these little sample parties.
As I continued to do that and continue to do research, I began to say, wow, this is really unique to have a product like this, or a molecule in the case of CBD, that offered such tremendous health benefits so quickly, but without any side effect.
It kind of escalated from there. The more we did research, it got exciting. And then my husband actually went to visit the manufacturer we chose. And it was like, this is it.
The next step really was like, what do we want to name this thing?
As we contemplated names, we made a long list of names. It was Joy and I and Jared sitting around a table, and
somebody threw out, and I've been trying to figure out, what was that point? And I think it was my dad. I think he was like, why don't we name it after your mom?
Hey, how about if we call this Joy Organics?
And I was like, yeah, Joy.
Well, as we began to launch Joy Organics, and we first of all said, who in our family would we want to work with? Nothing we felt would be better than to work with our children and to work with our extended family. And so naturally, the first place we looked was, who are our family members who have unique gifts and skills that can help complement what we bring to the table?
My brother gave me a call. and he said, hey, we're looking at doing this. Would you like to be part of what's going on? I said, well, let me at least come on out to Colorado and see what the CBD thing's all about. And man, it just hit me. It was like, wow, this is it. This is really something. Todd asked me, he says, we're not really happy with our fulfillment company. Would you consider taking the month of September and come up here and help us set up our fulfillment center and get everything moved in and get all of our SKUs lined up? I said, sure, would love to do it. We decided to move out to Colorado, and then I came on as the Chief Operating Officer in October, and it's just been a wild ride ever since. And one of the greatest things that stood out to me in the very beginning was her compassionate heart, and what she brings in that to the culture. To know that that was the case for our CEO, and I noticed that everybody that was here was reflective of that really caring culture, and that was really important to me. I knew working with Joy and Todd and Jared that I would have the opportunity to help develop a company and a culture that would really exemplify what I think is the best of being human and being in business. All the founders are on the same page. We're all desiring to have this type of business and this type of company. I get to work with my family, who I love dearly. I've got a business family that I love dearly that we're building, getting to really build the business that I've always dreamed of, and hopefully have it as an example to others of how we can build a really loving, caring, conscious business in a space that may have a lot of controversy and maybe, a lot of reasons why people would think that it wouldn't exist in a space like this, but it does. And we're here proving it and doing it.